Support for the Couples Council comes from Mercier Wellness and Consulting. Their purpose is to equip you with the right skills for a happy and healthy relationship. Services available in office or virtual. Schedule your consultation now. For more information, visit mercierwellness.com. Mercier Wellness and Consulting. Small steps, big changes.
This podcast is not a substitute for therapy. Please consult a licensed professional for your mental health needs.
Now on with the show.
Hello and welcome to the Couples Council. I am Dr. Jameson Mercier, the Love Mender, and alongside me is
Herdee Mercier, aka the Wife Mentor, creator of Wifidence.
And for this episode, we're actually going to do something that we did a couple weeks ago. We were digging around and we found something else in the archives. This is a conversation that was had on one of our Facebook Lives, and it seems rather timely. It's a conversation about happiness. Happiness is something that we are constantly thinking about.
Or chasing down, wanting to experience. Oftentimes we find ourselves maybe possibly looking at Instagram posts, Facebook posts. If you're on Snapchat, you do those things and you compare someone else's blessing to yours and saying, why can I ever get to that place of their happiness?
Yeah. And you find yourself asking, when will I be happy? You know, and we even go further and say, I will be happy when, which is actually the title of this week's episode and was the title of the talk. Now, this was a talk that I did alone, so you'll hear myself only. I'll reference some comments that came in during the Facebook Live. And afterwards, Herdeen and I will come back on and we will chat some more. So, without holding it up anymore, here is I Will Be Happy When from the archives. I will be happy when, right? And it's not a question. It's the beginning of a statement. Okay, it is a statement that we all make or have made or have heard uttered by friends here and there. Right? It's a common statement. I'll be happy when. And we all have our conditions and our stuff that we believe wholeheartedly will make us happy. And unfortunately, it does not happen like that. Okay? It never has, never does, and it never will. So, we're going to talk about it and figure out a better way of approaching this concept of happiness. I was having a conversation with a colleague maybe a couple of weeks ago, and she said, I'll be happy when, I think we're talking about our kids, and she said something about she'll be happy when her kid either does something or accomplishes something. And, I listened, but when she finished, I said, that's a dangerous statement. She was like, what are you talking about? I said, well, the idea that you will be happy when, and in the context of parenting, I understand that we'll be glad, when our kids reach certain milestones and accomplish certain accomplishments. But when we say we'll be happy when, that is dangerous. That is dangerous. And there are 2, maybe 3 reasons I'll mention just briefly why that is a dangerous thing. Okay? First of all, when we say I'll be happy when, what we're doing is we are making our happiness conditional. Okay? Let me play that back. We're making our happiness conditional, right? Our joy conditional. Okay? And most times, These are conditions that we have very little, if any, control over. And so we're attaching our happiness to conditions and situations and circumstances that we have no control over. I don't know about you, but in my book, that sounds like a recipe for disaster. It's terrible. And many of us have adopted this idea, you know. We've drank the Kool-Aid and we've shared and we've gone back for more, right? I'll be happy when I hit the lotto. I'll be happy when I get married. I'll be happy when I, buy a house. I'll be happy when I have children. All these things, they're not bad things. And I myself have aspired to have some of these things, right? House, cars, kids. We are, fastly approaching the end of the school year, graduation season. I'll be happy when I graduate. I'll be happy when, and there's all this stuff. But it is possible that we may not be able to attend or achieve or accomplish these things. I'll be happy when, for example, I have children. Some people are very, 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 very miserable. Very miserable as far as that is concerned. Their inability to conceive is really a major issue for them. And it's an even bigger problem because they've hitched that to their happiness wagon. But that's beyond your control. So how is it that then that's the thing that will make you happy? And I get it. I get what I get what is meant when that is said. But we set ourselves up for disappointment when we do that. I'll be happy when I get a particular job, right? And if you've ever been looking for work, if you've ever had to put in application after application and more applications without any callbacks or interviews, but no job, but you say to yourself, I'll be happy when, yes, we need income. Yes, we have to pay the bills and keep food on the table. But when we say we'll be happy when we get this job, you understand that there are certain decisions that are made behind. So you apply for a job, and behind that, there are things you have absolutely no control over. Right? For example, you may be looking to get a job and then planning to be happy, but then the boss's daughter comes home from college, and guess who needs a job? The boss's daughter. Guess who's not going to get the job, or who's going to be out of a job? You, because you're not the boss's kid. Hello. Now your happiness has been disrupted by this boss's daughter coming home from college. That is difficult. And I say that not as this arbitrary example, but that happens all the time. All the time. I'll be happy when I buy a house. Well, if you've been around for the last, 10 years or so, you've seen the real estate market and what it does. And many people have lost their homes and consequently have lost their happiness because they've attached it to a certain thing. And again, I understand having things and nice things. My wife and I recently, we rented a BMW convertible and we thoroughly enjoyed it. But don't get it twisted. That is not where our happiness lies, right? Let's not confuse those things. So yes, it's possible that we may never get past or acquire these conditions that we've set up for our happiness. And that is point number one. Number two, so we say, I'll be happy when you get a house, car, whatever, right? And so, or, you get a closet full of clothes, or you can buy some Gucci socks. I don't know, whatever it is that you say, I'll be happy when you have a 60-inch TV, right? Then you say, well, okay, I finally have the car or the TV or the watch or the handbag, whatever it is. I have it, and I am now happy. Yes, congratulations to me. I am happy. How long does that happiness last? Well, I can tell you how long it lasts. It lasts until the next commercial. It lasts until the next iPhone comes out. It lasts until you go to your friend's house and you see that while you might have just gotten a 60-inch, now they have a 75. So now you are no longer happy, because now your happiness is the 65, the 55, 60, whatever, it no longer does it for you. The iPhone 5, 6, 7, which all made you happy, now they're just kind of meh. They don't make you happy anymore. So you got to get the 8, you got to get the 10, right? And then you'll be happy. Yes, then happiness will come. People, you get the point. The point is, there will always be more. There will always be something else. There will always be bigger and nicer, more expensive, which ultimately means you will never be happy, because you will always be chasing the next best thing. So, it's essentially like an addiction, right? That first hit is what you're always chasing. From the first time you get that, every time afterwards, you're trying to get that first hit. And it is very elusive. It's very elusive. It's you're setting yourself up for failure. And again, we live in a society where that is known. Marketers, they know this stuff. They know this. This is why, fashion comes out every week almost now. Because your happiness will only last for so long. They ensure that your happiness will only last for so long. That's my point. And they know this, And for some of us, our happiness lies in outdoing the next guy, right? So if you had a truck and your neighbor bought a truck, now you got to go out and trade your truck in so that your truck can outdo your neighbor. And if your neighbor outdoes you, then you get a truck with a boat. Then you'll be happy? Really? Really? It's a vicious cycle. It is a vicious cycle, and it never ends. So there will always be nicer, better, bigger, shinier, right? We like our shiny toys. And so I'll be happy when, when will that be? Who knows? I can't tell you. And thirdly, right? We will always want to be happier. and that segues, that piggybacks off of point number 2. If we conceptualize happiness as something that we chase, we will always want more happiness. Okay? And if more happiness is tied to things and goals and deadlines, right? Toys, then that's what we'll do to have more happiness, more joy. And that more happier, that happiness, it's very abstract, right? It's very abstract. How do you know that you have it? How do you know? When you're in 2000s? Or maybe when you're out of the apartment, then you'll be happy. The house will soon, 1800, 2000 square feet house. It was good, but it no longer does it for you. So now instead of 2,000, you got to get a 4,000 square feet house. But see, we want to be happier. So I guess 4,000, let's take it up to maybe 6,000 square feet. When does it end? Oh, we have to be behind a gated community. Nice, nice. Right? It is, and at the risk of sounding redundant, it is a vicious cycle. It's insane. It is insane, right? So what do we do? What do we do? How do we what do we do about this? You know? Well, in short, we have to stop chasing happiness and be happy. Be happy. And you say, well, you're like, well, Jameson, you don't know my situation, right? You tell me be happy because you do not know my situation. Okay? Yes, I don't know your situation. But I can tell you, it's not found in amassing stuff, right? It's not found in chasing titles or status symbols, right? Which ultimately is what all these things are, you know? When we get so caught up in being happy, we miss out on life. We miss out on life. We miss out on, because if a house don't make you happy, a bigger house won't make you happier, right? It's not in the stuff, okay? It's in the journey. It's in the journey. Joy is found in the living, guys, not in the dead, not in the stuff that don't give any kind of life. And I hate to sound preachy, but we know this. We've seen it. They make TV shows about it, right? People who collect so much stuff. So much stuff. It's piled high to the roof, you know. So much stuff they can't even sleep in their beds anymore. Guys, it's not in the stuff. Don't wait to be happy when things will be perfect, right? I'll be happy when I have enough money, I've lost 20 pounds, I've put on 10 pounds of muscle mass. There is no perfect condition in which happiness will exist, right? Happiness has to be found in the human condition. It has to be. If you can't find it there, you won't find it anywhere. You just won't. You just won't. It's not found in a job. It's not found in a salary. Um, Now, happiness is found in children, but not all the time. Hello, parents out there, you know what I'm talking about. I got 4 of them in my house, and I can tell you right now, as much as I love them, I'm not always happy. But then that's fine, because my happiness is not based on them, right? As a matter of fact, my children are a byproduct of my happiness. Okay, did you catch that? My children are a byproduct of my happiness. So we have to get a grip. We have to get these things in perspective. We have to understand. Okay, and again, I'm not saying things are not nice. Okay, but they can't be the condition. They can't be the basis, right? Don't say I'll be happy when I'm smarter. Nope, 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 because you don't need to be smart to be happy. And if you think you're dumb, there are plenty of dumb people who are very happy, if that's how you think. I'll be happy when I have a wife or a husband. Yeah, no, you won't, because plenty of married people are very unhappy with their partners. As a matter of fact, that's part of the reason why this line of work that I'm in exists. So no. It's not about that, because once and if that is the way we look for happiness, you essentially create a prison for yourself. We talk about gilded cages, right? We decorate it. That's something we've used before. You become a prisoner of your own happiness search, if we can say. A never-ending quest, nonetheless. You keep chasing that carrot. You keep running on that hamster wheel. And then you become frustrated and disappointed and upset, when it doesn't happen. I'll tell you, when I was working on my doctorates, you think in your mind, hey, I'm going to do this 3, 4, 5 years, however long it takes. And then once I graduate, things will be perfect, right? And people are looking, they're like, oh yeah, dude, oh, he made it, great, that's what's up. And now he's happy, right? But you see, what people don't know is all the things behind, right, at home in the dark. What people don't know is that a PhD does not make you happy. Okay, PhD puts you in debt. Okay, PhD in and of itself does not equal to happiness. Degrees don't make you happy. It might make other people look at you differently. Yeah, you may gain some respect. Yeah, but PhDs don't do nothing for you but hang on your wall. How can an inanimate object make you happy? It doesn't. And so that was something I learned quick. I had to figure that out, that my happiness and my joy was not going to be in my degree, my income. And again, I hear people saying, easy for you to say. Well, try it. Try it. Chase some things and say, I'll be happy when. Right? As soon as you graduate high school or graduate college, someone else is getting a degree higher than you are. And there goes your happiness. Right? Your happiness has to be of your own making. It has to be of your own making. If you say, I'll be happy when, then essentially you're saying, I'll be happy never. Right? And when we put these things on things and on people, all we're setting ourselves up is for disappointment, guys. Okay? The things, they're not happiness. Okay? The stuff, it's not happy. It's not, you know, it's in the moments that we share, it's the memories we create with people that we love. That is where the happiness is. Simple as that. That is the only thing. You know, you always hear, you know, money can't buy happiness. Okay, yeah, you know, we can't say that money, and there's not a correlation between money and happiness. Yes, you know, the comeback is money doesn't make you happy, but neither is being broke, right? So we got to have a balance. Yes, we got to have a balance. But if that is you're missing the big picture, because guess what? You can laugh without being rich. And you can smile without having $1 in your pocket. My wife talks all the time. Some of our best dates were like cheap dates, you know. Going to the park, a blanket, and a peanut butter jelly sandwich or two, maybe two. I think we had enough bread for 2 sandwiches. Because it wasn't about the stuff, you know. It's not about money. It's about laughing. That's where the wealth is. It's about the memories. It's about the people. Ideally, if we can make happiness our default state of mind, our default state of being, right? That's where it ought to be. If that can be where we reside, then nothing else matters. Ernest says, I was 3/4 of the way done with my doctorate program and stopped because it was getting too expensive. When I realized how miserable my colleagues with PhDs were, I thought twice about going through. Yeah, again, a PhD does not make you happy. Okay? It can help. Thank you for making that point. And yes, babe, peanut butter and jelly sandwich dates were the best, you know. There's so much around us to be happy about and to take in and just be thankful for and grateful for. As a matter of fact, the more stuff we have, the more blinded we are to the things around us that brings us so much joy. I've talked about minimizing possessions and being a minimalist, and we're not going to get into that whole rant today, but I find myself being exponentially happier with less. Okay? Now, I don't own one shirt and one pair of pants. No, I'm not at that level. But for those who do, I understand why. I completely understand why. You know, I told my wife my dream is to live in a tiny house on a few acres next to a lake somewhere, right? We'll see that happens. But it's not in the stuff, you know. Having less and being responsible for less and managing less means I'm with my kids more, right? It means my wife and I can go off on a weekend because we have the time and we have the resources. It's what we want to do. We can go camping and really not need a whole lot. That's the joy. That's the happiness. That's what it is. It can't be stuff, guys. It cannot be stuff. You know, it can't be the cars. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It can't be the cars. It can't be the house because, again, next year, BMW is going to come out with a nicer car, you know? The iPhone's going to come out with a nicer iPhone. The Apple Watch is going to have a nicer Apple Watch. You know, and if you don't believe this, just try it. Just try it. You know, buy a bunch of stuff and see how you feel, you know? Keep the receipts. Please, keep the receipts. I bought an Apple Watch Nothing against Apple Watches. Listen, if you want to send me one, I will happily take it. But I bought one thinking that I would really like it and that I would be able to do a whole lot with it. And, I had to fight to keep it for a week. I legit had to fight to keep it for a week because I just did not see what all the jazz was about. I must have missed it. I must have missed it, Try it. These things that you think will make you happy, try them out. Try them on for size, like we like to say. I can guarantee you they don't make you happy, Nowadays, it's about amassing a ton of likes on our profiles and our pages. And yes, it's nice to have those things, but if your happiness is based on getting 1,000 people, 2,000 people to see your video, we got a problem. We got a major problem. Because then we're constantly checking to see who likes it, who likes it, who likes it. And if we post something and no one likes it, no one sees it, then we're going down the drain. We're struggling to be happy, right? Because it's tied to something that we have no control over. So, guys, I'll be happy when is something that I encourage everyone. Remove that. Take that out of your mind. Take it out of your mouth. Take it out of your spirit. I'll be happy when that no. I am happy because, right? This spirit of gratitude. I am happy now. I am happy because. We all have things to be happy for. We all have lots of things to be grateful for. Okay? My roof doesn't leak anymore. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, I could tell you some stories about that. Your car didn't break down today. It may not be a BMW, but it didn't stop with you on the interstate. Be happy about that. There are lots of things. Your kids are healthy. You are healthy. Lots to be happy about. Lots to be grateful about. Ernest says, I completed 2 bachelor's degrees, 3 masters, and in the end I was still unhappy with supposedly mastering 3 different fields. So 5 degrees, brother, God bless you. Man, ask this brother. Ask him. And we're not knocking anyone, but it's not in the degrees. And it's not in a particular degree, right? Jumping from one to the next, like he says. If being a social worker didn't make you happy, being a doctor, maybe more money, but may not make you happy. You know what I'm saying? It can't be in the stuff. It just doesn't. Again, happiness is not in things that are dead, right? Paper, metal, plastics. It's found in the living. It's in the living. Always has been. Always will be. It's an intrinsic thing. Okay? Different people have different needs. But find out what it is for you. Alright, guys? I love you guys. I care about you. Love yourself. Love each other. Find out how to be happy. Okay? Without the stuff.
Wow, that was really, really good. Oftentimes you forget the jewels that you receive by sometimes just sitting back and listening and kind of sitting back and going, oh, that's my husband speaking. He's a very intelligent man. He knows what he's talking about when you're saying, oftentimes we want to arrive at a place or we want to go to this place to find happiness. And in listening to this episode, it reminded me that happiness is waiting for me to appreciate today.
Yeah.
Happiness is waiting for me to appreciate today. And so, yes, you can plan for the future, but guess what? The truth of the matter with today's day and age, my husband isn't promised for him to come home. You know, a date night may not happen on Saturday because something took him out on Wednesday. But yet today, I need to learn to appreciate who I have wholehearted in this relationship right now.
Yeah, that's all great. I don't have much to add to that. I will just say couples in particular are, they fall prey to this idea of I'll be happy when, or will be happy when.
And they also fall prey to this idea that he will be or she will be here forever.
Right. Well, let me finish. Couples think that we'll be happy when we do this or we do that. The only difference between when someone says I'll be happy when and when a couple says will be happy when is that there's two people and you end up twice as miserable. Just do the math. It's two people and you end up twice as miserable because the same rules apply. And then we blame the marriage or we blame the relationship, and we don't think the relationship is working or the marriage is working, when all along it was these false expectations, these hopes that we placed on the wrong things.
Not just these false ideas, but the thought of looking at your internal beliefs and saying to yourself, what are you holding your spouse accountable to that he or she has no idea? But yet you're putting so much energy and time and mental agony, and your spouse has no idea that these are the things that you believe or you hope he or she would do to make you happy. The truth of the matter is, happiness is always going to start with you. Your husband is not the plug to your happiness.
And neither is your wife.
Yeah.
And so, folks, we're going to leave it there. We hope you enjoyed this little gem from the archive. I know I do. Not that I like hearing myself talk, but these things also remind me, it reminds us, because when we do this, we're not just doing it for you guys, but we're doing it for ourselves as well. So if there was value in this for you, as usual, we ask that you will share it. We ask that you will give us some feedback.
Leave a comment, rate us. Don't forget to hit the 5 stars. We do enjoy reading your comments and your reviews. And also, don't forget to follow us on social media. Dr. Jameson Mercier on all social media, and The Wife Mentor.
And if that's all too much to remember, you can always just go to mercierwellness.com and you'll find all the information there. Yeah, so thank you guys for joining us again for this episode of the Couples Council. Have a great day.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to our mom and dad.
If you like them as much as we do, then click subscribe and leave a comment. But now they have to go because it's family time.
So go practice what you heard, and we'll catch you on the next episode.